Good evening and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub at the Sunway in Accra. I am Isa Moni.
And I am Portia Gabo. Coming up the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paid,
GT Bank, and Calipo.
In the headlines, farmers from 7 communities in the Fantiakwa North District vowed to resist continuous stay of nomadic herdsmen in their farms.
2019 close season for artisanal fishers set for May 15 to June 15.
And tonight, we put the spotlight on online food vending as vendors cash in.
In mission tonight, inadequate infrastructure at Manford Community Junior High School in the Central Region.
In international news, Algeria's ruling party, FLN, picks ailing 81-year-old President Bouteflika as candidate for April 18 presidential election.
We have details coming up shortly. Do stay with us. And we first begin from the Eastern Region, and farmers from 7 communities in the Fantiakwa North District have vowed to resist the continuous stay of nomadic herdsmen in their farms. Well, the farmers lament the continuous destruction of crops by the cattle has affected their livelihood. Our Eastern Regional correspondent Yvonne Nikwe has the rest of the story.
On Friday, some farmers from the 7 affected communities, Ahomam, Kwekubotri, Asiato, Ekukurutu, Tadieso, Esiato, Amuafusu went to their farms and hideouts of the nomadic farmers to drive them away. They destroyed and burnt structures belonging to the nomadic herdsmen. According to the farmers, their action was as a result of the devastation caused to their farms. The farmers also cited failure of the police to help deal with suspects involved. Several acres of crops have been destroyed by the herds of cattle. The farmers lamented they are unable to pay back loans and cater for their family due to the activities of the nomadic herdsmen and their cattle. The farmers have vowed to resist the stay of the nomadic herdsmen to save their farms. Food crops from these 7 communities are sold to residents in Fantiakwa North and South districts, parts of the Eastern Region, the Greater Accra and Ashanti regions. Meanwhile, the Fantiakwa District Security Council is yet to respond to the matter.
And the 2019 close season for artisanal fishers has been fixed from May 15 to June 15, while that of industrial trawlers will take place between August 1 and 31. The decision was taken by stakeholders in the fishing sector who met to come out with a roadmap to implement the close season concept in industry.
Close season is practiced in many fisheries management jurisdictions as a measure to prevent people from fishing at certain times of the year. This is to help fishers at vulnerable times in their life cycle. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development intended to implement the close season concept in last year, but the move was met with stiff resistance from the fishing community. This led to the suspension of the program for broader consultation towards a possible implementation this year.
Let us all arise and say no to illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing and implement the close season. The sustainable management of fisheries resources could be successful.
This year they started very early, and I'm very much impressed because if you look at the representation over here, it's overwhelming. And I think one of the conclusions that all of us have made is that close season must happen in 2019.
As part of our readiness to support what is going on now, we have added, communally, those in for officers. We have added Sunday to the existing Tuesday where we originally don't go fishing. And it's now 2 days in a week. That's about 52 times in a year. I think we have done our very best.
The fishing stock in the sea is depleting very seriously. Not until serious measures are put in place, we will not be able to arrest the situation. And for us not to run short of fish in foreseeable future, I'm appealing to all the fishermen and all those who have something to do with the sea to comply strictly with the laws and regulations that the fishing industry is putting in place.
The meeting also discussed the sustainable management and development of the fisheries resources.
In other news, ordinarily, Ghanaians who would shy away from selling foodstuff in the markets are now doing same in larger quantities on social media. Or these online food vendors are cashing in on the busy schedules of some individuals and making life easier, especially for career women. Adjoa Adobia spent some time with 2 online vendors and has come through with this report.
Food vendors usually position themselves at vantage points to sell, with some carrying on their heads in order to expand their customer base. Some carry the food from house to house to sell. Fast forward into today's highly technological world, a lot is changing. Most entrepreneurs are gradually venturing into the foodstuff and food markets, using social media as a tool to market their services. Millicent, a graduate of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, after taking a course in branding products and services, decided to take a mother's tabletop foodstuff market to a higher level. This, she said, was to help promote her mother's business, which was basically focused on serving walk-in customers.
I sat and realized that, okay, my mom sells at the market where we are now. What if there's a form of delivery service attached to it so that we'll make life easy for clients who usually walk in to buy? So people will order and then we package and deliver to them nicely. After all, we are all busy.
She receives orders from people each day requesting for a variety of foodstuffs at each point in time.
Usually service charge depends on the quantity of items you're ordering for, the quantity, the location where you find yourself, and then also the immediateness of how you want it. So we look at all this before we give you the charge.
According to her, online marketing has been very good, as sales have shot up to about 50%.
If you were catering for only walk-in clients and you are making 100 cedis a day, and then you decide to deliver to people who are home, plus those who walk in, I'm sure the number will change in business.
Interestingly, Millicent's colleagues in the markets are not throwing roses at her, as they feel threatened owing to the number of customers she receives. She's not the only person taking advantage. Mamia Friye, also a graduate of GIJ, quit her job as a marketing advisor in the firm to start her food business.
Before I even went to learn how to make cakes, it was just because I wanted to do it for the house. I didn't really plan to sell my cakes. But then a friend tried my cake, and the next birthday, she asked me the price of my cake. Initially, I was not even selling them. I was just giving out to friends to just taste it and let me know their feedback before I even marketed my whole product. But then with time, they were all saying it was good, so I should just price them.
Mamia loves cooking on a daily basis and prepares various dishes for her clients and charges based on a kilo of food she prepares. Regrets has never been part of her food journey story and hopes to start a restaurant soon.
When you are doing certain things, you feel like you're not really into this per se. So you just want to do what you really feel like doing. And that was what I felt back then. And compared to what I was feeling now and then today, I feel I made a very, very good decision by leaving.
Clearly, it appears the online food business has not only made the lives of the working class easy, but has also created jobs for many. For the millions of Ghanaians who love to sell foodstuffs but are unable to sit under an umbrella in the markets, social media is fast becoming an option. Need I say more? Ajwa Adubia Ogusu, TV3.
Using technology to support business. Let's move away into politics now. And the former chief of staff, Nana Tudadze, says investigating the Ayawaso West Wuogon violence could have been done in just 72 hours. Nana Tudadze says on key point that the issue does not require the setting up of a commission of inquiry.
Former Chief of Staff Nana Tudadze wants the violence during the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-elections depoliticized.
My business is to draw attention to all of us to the fact that we can set a small fire that will engulf all of us. In 2020, we probably, if it opens up like what we are seeing on the screen, we probably may end up having people leaving the country carrying their things on their head. It's not an NDC or NPP affair.
But a deputy minister for local government and rural development, Osei Bonsu Amwa, disagreed with his submission.
Persons are involved who have been injured, some very grave injuries. And if the state is even to be found culpable, there should even be compensation. And the commission can even recommend all these things. So it's not just a matter of identifying somebody as the head of national security or the IGP and saying that we've punished them so the matter has been addressed.
Meanwhile, legal practitioner Bobby Benson is of the view vigilantism must be addressed from its root cause.
I do not think it would be fair for Ghanaians to expect that this commission would be able to finish their work thoroughly within 1 month. A commission that will quicken the process of making sure that we resolve this matter, then we should have been fair to ourselves to say that instead of trying to limit it to Ayawaso West Wuogon, let's give them enough time to tackle the problem of vigilantism to the roots.
Convener of the Inter-Party Coalition for National Sovereignty and chairman of PNC, Bernard Mona, tasked the police to be firm in the discharge of its duties.
How come that police guns, catapults, chains were used in an operation and our IGP and the police service was unaware of? That means that somebody could easily break into the armory of our Ghana Police Service without the knowledge of the Inspector General of Police, without the knowledge of the Director of Operations at the Ghana Police Service. The reason for which we call for the head of the IGP, because obviously he should have full responsibility and know at what time such logistics and such armory are being taken out.
The Vice President on Friday sworn into office the Commission of Inquiry to look into the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election violence. The commission has been tasked to present its reports in a month.
And the call to end political thuggery is getting support from all sectors of society. Edo Nyumale lives with disability, but he told TV3's Peter Kwao Adato he was inspired by the need to persuade political parties to eschew violence to join the demonstration.
The huge turnout of Thursday's Agbewo demonstration in Accra was unexpected by some observers following the confusion that had characterized engagement between organizers and the police. Edo Nyumale was a key participant. He appeared to lead the demonstrators from the center. With support from another demonstrator, Edo led this particular group throughout the nearly 8 hours peaceful exercise. We caught up with him at the Ministry of the Interior and asked about his motivation for joining the demonstration.
The violence that characterized the recently held by-election is a setback to our democracy. Persons with disability have nowhere to go if conflict breaks out in 2020. I cannot escape any conflict. Hence, my resolve to join this group to register our displeasure. Government must ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book because we need peace in the country.
Edo Nyimali left in a hurry, determined to maintain his position in the group. Throughout the journey, one word on the lips of Edo was clear: whoever wished to rule Ghana must ensure the safety, security and well-being of citizens irrespective of their social or political status.
And the Ghana Police Service is finalizing the policy document that seeks to protect journalists whilst covering police operations. The move comes on the back of alleged police brutalities on media personnel in discharging their duties.
The police have in recent times come under criticism for alleged brutalities on some journalists across the country. In response to this, the police administration has taken steps to protect journalists whilst covering police operations. A policy document has been drafted to protect journalists in the discharge of their duties. Addressing the media personnel in Kumasi, Director General in charge of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP David Iklu, said an attack on a journalist is an attack on the people's representatives.
Even though you are not parliamentarians, you represent various shades of opinion in the region as well as the country. And since it is not possible for everybody to go to a police station to talk to the police, we see you as one of the important channels through which the public can also express their views about how policing should be done. So it is a very important thing, and we take attacks against journalists as a very serious issue.
ACP Iklu added the police will collaborate with the leaders of various media houses to come out with a framework on the safety of journalists.
We are working with the Media Foundation for West Africa to come out, and GJ and Primpack, GIBA and the All Media Organization to come up with a framework that would lead to the safety of journalists as far as police operations are concerned. Respect our professionalism. Police must respect and identify the role of journalists in federating democracy, and journalists must also recognize the procedures and the role of the police in serving the national interest.
Ashanti Regional Chairperson of the Ghana Journalists Association